You may proceed.
2028. 2028. I say, wow. Now, when one says wow, there's an element of admiration or awe in response to what somebody does. And allow me, Chairperson, to venture and say, this must have been a response to a picture that she sent. I could never have just said wow from the blue. But I'm going to develop this point. Bearing in mind that when one deletes, and insofar as I had been deleting for reasons that will be mentioned, it shows here that Mbenenge deleted. But there's something very strange about the complainant side of things, is that she does not only delete, but she even deletes the reference to deletion. I'm going to develop that theme within the twinkling of an eye. So I say, whoa, at 2028, and I can't think of anything other than that. She must have sent me a picture, and in admiration, I said, whoa. Otherwise, I wouldn't say whoa to somebody just winking at me, flirtatious though it is. Then I say, kulula umtla. Clearly, that related to a picture that had been sent. When I say kulula umtla, take off your garment or your jacket. Then she responds laughingly, Aziko will try later. I don't have, I will try later. Then I say, please. That is at 2029. So at page 1166, we can only jump to 2028 by way of time. That's where she says, Aziko will try later. That's 2029. Then says, please, for that assessment, which assessment? The issue about age that we were flattingly talking about. Say, please, for that assessment. And then, poof, 2032. I say, stylish. I was addressing the complainant. The complainant had clearly sent me that picture. It was not a status picture. It was not uploaded from her status. It was a picture that she actually sent to me. I say, with this indication, stylish, which is compatible anyway with. And then I was admiring.
Where are we now?
We are at page 1166 at 2032.
At what time?
2032.
Mm-hmm.
2032.
Mm.
That is the
PP, can I ask you this so that they follow? Why? Two questions. You make the point that that's not a status picture. Could you explain why you say that and how you say that?
Because if we take a picture at random, for instance, at random, let's go to page 1223, and there are many of those, just at random, 1223 of the same document, to show how a status picture commented on looks like. Chairperson, this is a factual issue in relation to which a conclusion could be made with relative ease. Page 1223, could we go to 1223? This is where I demonstrate that if you comment on somebody's status picture, then it must have you status. This one is you, a photo that she sent to me, not uploaded on a status. She did send a picture to me. That is signified by me saying stylish. But then the problem is we don't see her deleting this to which I commented stylish. We don't see her do that, which then means she must have deleted that picture. She must have deleted the reference to deleted. I'm going to develop this later on, the way I understood it and the way I see it. So in any event, stylish. This is me commenting to a picture that she transmitted to me, not a status picture that I commented on. I do from time to time comment on her status pictures because as we were conversing, she would be changing status pictures from time to time. I do comment on those. As we go on, I will be indicating. But one thing that should be emphasized here is this is a photo. It is sent to me by the complainant. And when I say stylish at 2032, I'm commenting on the picture or on a picture that she sent me. So that takes us to 1167. After I had complimented her and said stylish, she too responds at 2033. You got a fine eye too. So stylish, you got a fine eye too. And then when I say for final assessment, which I said earlier on, at 2033, she comments to that by closing her eyes. A monkey closing eyes. Chairperson, we've been talking about this emoji, the one of a monkey closing its eyes. I must readily confess that I am not proficient in the emoji language. I don't have a doctorate on this. I studied English, Afrikaans, and Xhosa up to matric. I did English in my junior degree. I did Latin in my senior degree. So when it comes to emojis, I am like a person who processes things the way she sees them. And I want to address, maybe for the first time, this emoji about somebody closing their eyes or a monkey closing eyes. So I don't want to claim proficiency in emojis, but in my answering affidavit to the JCC, I made it very clear that I understood these emojis that she exchanged with me as being flirtatious. I don't need to go there now, certainly not at this point, because I don't want to mar the waters as I proceed to demonstrate the point that I'm working on. I am a Xhosa man. I would say in Xhosa ndingumXhosa. And I know of something like, on the part of a lady, ukumutsa. I may have my own interpretation of ukumutsa, but I'm happy that, Chairperson, you asked the interpreter to be around.
Maybe she could just tell us what it means
Yes.
from where she is.
We can get the spelling first, Chair. It's
Yes.
UKUMUDZA.
Okay, start again. You.
Mutsa.
UKUMUDZA. Ukumutsa or ukumutsa. Some areas will use the TSA in the end. But if I'm hearing the JP correctly, he's using the pronunciation of the DZA, ukumutsa. He'll correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
sorry, interpreter. Actually, TSA.
TSA. all
From
right.
a Pondomise Xhosa perspective. I am a
Amampoto.
Pondomise and Ndingujola is to. We'll deal with Jola later on as we converse.
Thank you, Chair, for that. Thank you, JP. Therefore, the spelling will be the correct one now. UKUMUTSA.
I defer. Oh, sorry, Chairperson. Chairperson, I said something about ukumutsa. I did not interpret it. I defer to her wisdom in relation to that. I can explain what I understand to be ukumutsa is when you show interest in a lady and in the Xhosa setup, they don't look you in the eye. Bayamutsa. They look down. And when somebody covers face like this, for me, a Xhosa man, that is sufficiently flirtatious. I don't know what interpretation she has about that.
Yeah, give it to us.
I was about to interpret Chair, and then the JP got in there. The interpretation, even though we will never really honestly have a direct translation, but the interpretation of that is indeed being flirtatious from a female's perspective towards a male.
Thank you, Chair.
JP, is this your understanding of what the two of you were doing?
Yes. At this point, the level was that of exchanging pictures. But I'm infusing this because through and through, there are these emojis, this particular one. And I thought, Council, I should just pause a bit and express myself in relation to that. I'm not good at that language of emojis. I defer to the wisdom of those who said something here. But for me, it is important for the tribunal to understand my perspective and that of the complainant within the context that both of us are Eastern Cape Xhosa speaking people.
On what basis, JP, then did you use? We understand you've said to the tribunal you do not know, most of us don't, what these emojis mean from the expert perspective. What was your understanding of the emojis that you used or that the two of you used when conversing?
As I will demonstrate later as we proceed, these were flirtatious interactions. And Chairperson, I could not resist but check what ukumutsa means. Not for any nefarious reason, but just to check. This is what I found when I Googled. A pretense of shyness or modesty intended to be alluring, typically used by a woman. I'm just referring to that as defined by Google, but the word itself is ukumutsa. And I'm not trifling with this tribunal when I address this aspect. I must say I'm at great pains to have to talk about chats between two adults, consenting adults. It is highly embarrassing for me to have to talk about this, but I am charged with this offense and I must put things in their proper perspective, that these chats were were not wanted and so on. So I'm addressing this particular one within the prism of an African, a Xhosa man interacting with a lady. And I'm shelving for a moment the terminological battle that was waged here by one expert, for instance, endeavoring at best to tell us, probably from a Western perspective, what that means. I distance myself from that. I am the talker here. I'm the one who is addressing the complainant. The complainant is addressing me. Therefore, Chair, I appeal to the tribunal to listen to me as I led by counsel, as I try to demonstrate and navigate this controversial chat, which, as I say, it's got embarrassing parts of it, chats between two adults, chats that were wanted, and no one in this room, if we were to say, let's take your phone, let's see what you were discussing with so-and-so, they may not be flirtatious, but anyone, Chairperson, who will have, at some point, I say, have to divulge what they were saying, either in the morning or last night. But here the context is flirtatious chats between the complainant and I, and it's something that's embarrassing. Maybe counsel, it's opportune stage for me to say, these chats surely may have embarrassed many a South African. I don't doubt that. As they do me as I talk now. That is regrettable. I may deal with that maybe later on, but I thought I should address at 1167, this chat. Then when she says, I will try later, at 2037, I say, I will wait. And at 2049, realizing that I'm waiting patiently, I then say, robbed. Now, a lawyer interpreting the word rob will say, we'll go back to the criminal law class where we were told, Chairperson, that theft plus violence is equal to robbery. I think there was something like that when we were in our criminal law classes. But when the word robbed is used here, it is within the context of flirtation. It was more to express something like, you have been waiting, And then the response to robbed, because rob from a Western perspective could mean quite a number of things. But what we see 4 monkey closing eyes emojis at 2050. Now, the reason why I address this at the level of this one emoji is because this type of emoji or these emojis transcend this document.
And what did they communicate to you?
My understanding was that the complainant was not only playing along, she was happy with the conversation. She never expressed discomfort, as I will show. Up to now, Chairperson, we don't have any no. We were told there are 12 no's. I'll deal with that in due course.